محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Today we're going to be true Muslims for at least once in our lifetimes, and we're going to start things on time. We're always good at starting things way after the schedule. So we said 6 o'clock. Am I right, Muhammad? So it's 6:01 now. I give you 1 minute extra, so that's all you need. I have 6:02. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. First time we talked about, we said there's 6 different steps that we should take before we do anything in the da'wah, and we talked about, what was it, ya ikhwan? Were you guys here? Yeah. What was the first point that we covered? Oh yeah, you guys are going to remember everything after we leave here, right? Are you going to apply it right at the Islamic Awareness Week? You guys remember the point that we talked about?
Yeah, one of the points was that just explain the basic of it. There is no God but
what was the point? Yes, this guy was 2 boxers in the arena and they were fighting, and this one of the guys, he did a cross, and one of the priests was sitting with the audience. So one of the guys, he said, "Would that help?" You say, "No, he can't fight." You know, if you guys can remember things, you know, being a Muslim would help. So first it was education. You guys remember? Education. Muslims have to be educated about their religion. Muslims have to be educated about their religion. I'm not going to repeat everything that I said last week. Hopefully some of you will remember it somehow. Inshallah, when you sleep tonight, you will see this guy with 2 wings called angel, and inshallah it will remind you of everything that we mentioned last week. The second point we're talking about is the importance of an isti'dad, preparation. To prepare for this is very, very crucial and very important. How should we prepare ourselves? Since this is a workshop, sisters, how can we prepare ourselves for the Islamic Awareness Week? What should we do?
Read more.
Read more.
The stuff that put together for us.
Read more. What are the stuff we talked about that we, the 20 or 10 misconceptions and other issues? What was the other issues?
Other issues?
I think you gave two different. One was 10 misconceptions.
The other one was 20 common questions.
20 common questions. Okay, so you're gonna prepare yourself by reading that. Am I right? That's excellent. Now, let us go a little bit back before that. First thing is you have to be ready. In a sense, you need to advertise. Advertise not to the Muslims, but to the non-Muslims. They must know there's something called Islamic Awareness Week coming up. And it is a yearly thing. And you have to be there. You have to make it so interesting for these people that they want to come and attend this event. Now, in the past, as Muslims, we had our ways of advertising was a little bit not as aggressive as should be. What we did, we announced it every Friday. We put a few posters here and there. That is not sufficient. That is not enough. Number one, the campaign has to be very aggressive. You guys have to be very, very, very aggressive in this. Very aggressive. Posters are good. How many posters do we need, brothers and sisters?
We printed 500.
Sorry?
We printed 500.
Posters or flyers or handouts?
Posters.
Big posters.
Well, there's 5 of them.
5 big posters.
5 big posters, yeah.
How many buildings do we have?
12 or 10.
Then you need minimum 12. You need minimum 12. So you need to add more posters, inshallah. So the posters have to be everywhere. Everywhere. The other thing that you can do is, do they have what we call a radio?
They have,
How do you get hold of that radio?
they don't have radio, they have the NUTV.
NUTV.
Oh, they have radio too.
Yeah.
Siciid
Okay.
So how do you get? How should we get hold of them?
They're in the office.
So you can go and approach. So is it charge? Is it money? Or would they charge you if you ask them to advertise for you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so we need to explore that. It is important for us to explore that because people listen to the radio. Do they have? They do have for sure paper, university paper.
Yeah, we're buying that in there.
We're putting an ad there.
Yeah.
Now, how many handouts do we have?
Many.
How many copies have we? How many handouts to the non-Muslims? Like a flyers or?
Over 500.
It's not enough. You need minimum 5,000. How many students do we have here?
1,000.
About 25,000 just full time.
Yeah. You need minimum 5,000. 5,000 copies of this. It's important. Now, we have all this, and I don't want you guys to go to Staples or whatever. You bring the boxes and put it in a, what do you call it, MSA office as a storage, and you leave it there or put it in my office. No. When we bring them out, what you need to do, you need to assign the brothers who are here certain jobs. So each one must have some of those handouts in his bag and make sure that he gives to the non-Muslim whatever he or she sees them. Can you reserve a booth before the event anywhere? Can you take a table, reserve a table, and ask for advertisement and keep giving the handouts? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Then inshallah we should also do that. You should reserve a table in Macau next to what we usually do, the Dacwada, and let the brothers and sisters sit and rotate, and just anybody who comes, give them this, as many as you can. The massages are good, alhamdulillah. We can give the massages. What I want you really to do is, when you brothers and sisters are doing this, do it as a business. You are doing business with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do it as a business, be sincere about it, be aggressive about it, don't feel shy, don't feel embarrassed because someone said, I don't want to take it, I don't believe in this, or take this garbage out of my face. Just know, alhamdulillah, you're dealing with Allah. And this is for the Yawm al-Qiyamah. When these kuffar are going to hellfire, because they did not believe in Islam, none of them will go to hellfire without claiming that you did not deliver the message to them. So this is called tabri'at al-dhimma. Ma'adhiratun ila rabbikum. Ma'adhiratun ila rabbikum. So what do? You give this to you and you show them, well, on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, I'm free from this, but they cannot claim that I did not give them the message of Islam. So you give them, be aggressive in that. Of course, I'm not saying aggressive, you wrestle them down or you do them, no. Just mean, make sure that you stay there. You don't back up. You don't just quit because someone did not take your flyers. Or this, no, you should not do this. The other thing, which is the most powerful way of giving or doing advertisement, and also giving a dawah, is for you, brothers, for you to aim minimum 3 people. Each one of you, each student who is here, minimum 3 people. 3, not 3 Muslims, no, not from Hyderabad, no. 3 non-Muslims from Calgary. We have to aim 3 and work. When is it? When is the workshop? 25th?
19th to 23rd.
19. That's how much time you got. That's how much time you have. So 3 non-Muslims, bring them. You work on them. They could be your classmate. They could be someone that you know. They could be someone that in your neighborhood, even outside the university. It's fine. But work on 3 people. Concentrate on just 3 people. Inform them ahead of time. This is what is happening. And it is not your responsibility or my responsibility for these individuals to accept Islam. It is in the hands of Allah. Your responsibility and my responsibility is to put the seed of Iman in their heart. Let them know about Islam. Most of the people who comes to the masjid accept Islam was because of the effort of individuals like yourselves. They just talk to them and they tell them about Islam, and years later, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years later, that person accepted Islam. And when you ask him, why did you accept Islam? Who introduced you to Islam for the first time? He would tell you, or she would tell you, well, I had a classmate, or I had a friend, I had this. Most of the time, boyfriend, most of the time. But for the case of the girls, and for the case of the boys, boyfriend and girlfriend, things happens. Lakin, at least that person introduced them to Islam. So your job, ya ikhwan, is just to let them know Islam, and the individual da'wah, we'll talk about this, it is the most powerful, the most important da'wah that you can give. This is important, ya ikhwati fillah. If you remember the da'wah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, at the beginning, he wanted to invite everyone to Islam. Did that work? Did that work? No, it didn't. Remember when he called all the tribe, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed when he called all the tribes, he called everyone. Every tribe from Quraysh came and they attend the first introduction to Islam. And what did Abu Jahl say? Abu Lahab, قال تبا لك ألهذا جمعتنا. He says, woe to you. Is this the reason why you gathered us here? And from that, nobody accepted Islam. From that day, on that day, no one accepted Islam. How did Islam spread? By individual da'wah. Targeting individual, talking to this person, talking to that person, and this is how Islam is spread. So what I want you to understand is, the most important thing is you giving a da'wah to a person privately. In your home, in your school, at the library, wherever else you can do it, inshallah. The third point, ikhwati fillah, is the materials. The material that we're giving out for da'wah. It is very important, very crucial for us to give the right material. These are the things that I will recommend. First, all of you, if you can, read as much as you can from the material that you're going to give. Because the kuffar, if you give them pamphlet, and they take the pamphlet, and they come back 2 hours later, 3 hours later, and they ask you about the pamphlet, and you have no clue what the pamphlet is all about, it doesn't look too good. So you are selling to them something that you yourself don't practice or don't know about it. So how can you invite people to something that you don't practice or you don't know about it? So it is important. Reading is one. 2, understanding. You have to be able to understand. When they say we worship only one God, what does that mean? We only have one Quran. Some of the Muslims, they lie to the kuffar and they say, no, we don't have all these groups that you have, guys, Catholics and this, we only one group. Hey, is that true? It is not true. But we can always say we only have one book. Understand that. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he did not say you will always be one group, but he said no. You will have one mushaf, one deen, but there will be 73 different sects, and this is important for you to not to get in that area and to you to understand. Things to avoid. Comes to material, things to avoid. 1, as much as you can, do not display Qur'ans with different publications. Like, you don't display the Holy Quran and the glorious Quran and the Quran Majid. If you can find one type, that would be perfect. Why? Because these people, they don't understand. You have the Holy Quran, glorious Quran, you have Quran, so they would think, well, we have, this, and we have Luke, and we have, King James, so this is the same. This is how they may perceive when you show them different types of Quran. So even if you don't have enough copies, and you make sure that first day you have glorious Quran. The second day, when you give all this away, then you have the Holy Quran, and so on. But don't put them next to each other, because you will confuse them. And they don't understand, and they can't say, well, they don't understand the difference between publications and translations and the actual Quran. So when you do this, at least, if you have to, explain to them before you give, this is what it is, and this is the thing, this is how we have the same problem with the Bible. Number 2, don't give too much material. Muslims, mashallah, we are very generous. We think it's like Eid. Oh, we give everything. Or Ramadan, and everybody has to have 20 samosas. No. Here, these people don't like to read. These students, they don't want to read. So you're giving too much material means you're asking them to read all this material. But give them just a minimum amount of material. You have 6, 7, 9, maybe 10 different pamphlets. Choose, when you talk to the person, choose a material that you think is suitable for that person. If the young lady comes, and also the question that she has is about how come Islam oppresses women? How come they do this to them? So you give them one about the Tawheed and one that's talking about women in Islam. You don't give them, Jesus in the Quran, this is that. No, just these two, this is what they need. Always something about the Tawheed and something that you think the person wants to know more about it. It's important. It is very, very important. And here it's worth of mentioning that when you're giving a da'wah, and we'll cover that inshallah later on, you need to ask this person very simple questions and try to collect as much information about the person. Maybe he's a Jew and you give him about, we believe that Jesus is coming back, or he doesn't believe any of that. He's a Jew, he's not a Christian. So you're giving da'wah in a wrong format. Like, this is the second thing. 3, we should not display any material that is disgracing any other or belittling or talking about negative about any other religion. You don't say, let us compare about Islam and Christianity. Let us compare Islam with Judaism. Let's compare about this with this. No. Do not display material that will disgrace or degrade or belittle any other religion. Because if that person is a follower of that religion, even though he may have doubts on this, soon you attack him, what would happen? He will just take offensive or defensive stand. So do not do this. Stay away from that as much as you can. 4th, and I've seen this so many times, please, I know books of fiqh, they look nice, but don't display them. Books of fiqh, what are you going to, I can't, oh mashallah, when we divorce women, we have this and that, are you going to explain this? This is it's not their area to understand at this point. Kutub of fiqh al-sunnah, anything about salah, how to perform al-wudu, all this, you don't display them. If you see books like this, eliminate them, put them aside, put them under the table. Avoid books of fiqh. Because now you can bring them and they say, well, mashallah, you have 4 madhahib. 4 madhahib, every madhahib is saying something. That means the same thing as we have in the church, in the Christianity. So you're adding more confusion into that person. Don't do this. Just make sure you concentrate on this. Also, the books of people of innovation, people of bid'ah. You don't say, oh, we have this with this group, or we have that group, and in Islam we have this, we have Ahbash, we have Sufis, we have Ismailis, we have Sunnis, we have Asha'ira, we have Mu'tazila, we have... No. Don't get the different... don't give them any ideas about that area. Let them first understand La ilaha illallah, and then they inshallah will understand the rest. This is important. The 4th point that we need to cover is the point of volunteers. This is important. This is very important. Now, volunteers, mashallah, most of the time, they like to sign up for that. I don't know how many people do you have on your list? 40, Allahu Akbar. 40. But unfortunately, the day of the event, they don't show up. Somehow, something happens. This one has a test. This one, he has to go and see his teacher. This one, his mother is sick. That one, oh, he slept. That one, he forgot. For some reason, we disappeared that day. Brothers, more than the sisters. Brothers, more than the sisters. We just, for that day, we forget. Why are you coming to the workshop? Why are you coming to orientation? Why? We don't know. But we don't show up. And then what happens? We have a new set of people who have no clue what to do. And then everybody, we became like chickens with no heads. And then we start running around, no clue what is happening. So, if you are committed, please say to the brothers, I'm coming. And he will give you a schedule and give you time to come. If you can't come, alhamdulillah, and I know the brothers will talk to you about this. But what I need to talk to you about in that area is, when we have Islamic Awareness Week, we have to understand, this is not a social club. We make it a social club. It's a, oh Muhammad, mashallah, excuse me sir, I'll come back. And then we go to Muhammad, how was the family? And we forgot about the guy that we were supposed to be giving a da'wah. No. If you work in places like, Bay or, Walmart or anywhere, you know your job. If you're a cashier, you know what to do. If you're a person doing anything, something else, you know your job. Here, in these 2 hours or 4 hours that you volunteer, make sure you don't spend it with your brothers. Make sure you're there doing what you see. Even if there's no one there, just stay there. Hi, everybody pass by, hi. Welcome them. But we don't do this. And this is where we miss the opportunity of giving a da'wah. More than once, I've seen brothers sitting in that little area, square, it's called Qaabka, in the area they sit there, and they just chit-chat. Oh, we should go to Timor's, why don't you order coffee and donuts, mashallah. It becomes a maqha. You know maqha? Coffee shop. It's no longer a da'wah. So no, you have to be very strict. Come for a purpose of 92 hours, I want someone to accept Islam. In these 2 hours that I'm here, I want someone to accept Islam. So work hard on that. Work hard on that. And concentrate on your da'wah. The other thing is, look decent that day. Look nice. And when you go there, let the people see that, mashallah, he's serious. Have you seen Jehovah's Witness? With the suit and the monkey tie and all this, you see that, how they look like? Called the monkey suit. They always professional. They do it in a professional way. They come to your house, how are you sir? The way they talk, they do da'wah. They do da'wah to Dawradii, but they do it perfect. They do it excellent in their job. So when you're there, make sure that you look nice. Look nice doesn't mean you have to shave, but don't come with shirts, especially for summertime. Come with funny jackets or baseball hat. No, look nice, look decent, and then inshallah give a da'wah to the people. My suggestion, what I call the division of labor, it's number one, all of you must be there on time. On time, not a Muslim time, Islamic time. Muslim time, you say 9 o'clock, they come 11 o'clock. That is a Muslim time. We want Islamic time, which means you're there on time. I don't know what time you're setting up, 9 o'clock? 10. 10 o'clock. This year is lenient.
It starts 10.
The event starts 10.
So we start at 9:30.
No, don't tell them 10. Don't tell them 10. They will come 10 o'clock for the event. They will come for the opening, mashallah. So if you have to set up, you gotta be there 8 o'clock, be there 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, that's how much time you need to set up. 10 o'clock, and everybody, they have to schedule kufar, maybe this person is scheduling himself, and he knows after 10:30 he has to go somewhere. And we're still setting up, doesn't look too good. So you should be here 8 o'clock at least, those who are setting up. Again, recommendation by Brother Muhammad, you always should have enough backup, enough volunteers for backup. Number 3, make sure the setting group are on time, 2 hours on time. Number 4, do not overload, or the volunteers, you should not overload yourself. Don't be in the setting group committee. Don't be in the booth committee. Don't be in the, a closing committee. Just if you have 2 hours, give 2 hours and say, these 2 hours, I can be there for that purpose. Not all the time, no. Don't overload yourself, because you do that one day, next day you may not come back. Or some of the brothers may not come back. And then we talk, number 5, we talk the way we look, dress professionally, please. The sisters, we have to understand, come with modest outfit. Last year, I remember, wasn't it last year, the year before last year, some of the sisters were not wearing hijab, and these guys who did not come to learn about Islam, they just came to argue. And they were like, why are you here? You're not wearing hijab. You should be wearing hijab. He's giving a da'wah to a Muslim in Islamic Awareness Week. So if you're coming, make sure that all of you have hijab, inshallah, and dress modest, akhwat billah, please. Number 5? Is it 5? Yeah. I skipped 2, 3 for you guys. Number 5, you should have welcoming committee. Welcoming committee. You see people passing by, you should have a brother standing out there saying, oh, hi, how are you? Can you please, just welcome them. And when they come to the booth, then you have someone else who's receiving that person. For the ladies, same thing. You have a person. Am I guys talking about something that doesn't exist in Islam, or this we're going to do this? If we do this, wallah, you can see the result, bi'idhnillah, would be different. You should have people in the booth, and you have people who are welcoming those people, or at least asking them to come, or take part, at least stop for a second and talk to these guys. We say, men, brothers, you should approach the men, and the lay sisters, you should approach the non-Muslim ladies. That's number 6, number 7. Number 8, number 7.
That was number 5.
Yeah.
No, this is number 6.
Okay. Okay. 6.
Okay, I'll go over very quick. 1, all on time. All must be there. Number 2, enough backup volunteers. Number 3, the setting up group should be on time. Number 4, do not overload yourself. Number 5, dress professionally. Number 6, come with modest, dress modest. Number 7, must have welcoming committee. Number 8, we must define again, this is the welcoming committee for brothers and for sisters. You can call 7, 8, whatever. Number 9, do not get involved in argument in any way. No argument. If this guy want to talk and you sense that this person doesn't want to know about it, but he wants to argue with you, drop the subject. Just don't talk about it. Say, well, thank you very much, I appreciate it, but enjoy yourself. In a nice, light way, you should not get involved in argument whatsoever. Because other people get involved, and this person is arguing about a point that he understands very well. And you may not be the best person to talk about that point. Number 9. 10. Good, I was just checking. Number 10. Always cheerful, welcoming face. Always. I know you may be upset about your task or mark, but always have to welcome them with smiling face. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Tabassumuka fi wajhi akhika sadaqah." The smile in the face of your Muslim brother is as sadaqah. time, if a person comes to you, then you should be the companion of that person through the whole setting. So you take the person one step at a time. So every person, when a person comes to you to your table, now this is your customer service. This is the person that you should be talking to, and you show him. And don't let the person just wander around. No, you ask questions. Oh, this is your first time? Have you ever read anything about Islam? And you say, yeah. Well, let me show you this. And you take that person and you give him a tour in all the things. Inshallah, we will talk about how you set up things, inshallah, when it comes to the basics of Islam. So you have to have this. So until you finish with that person, don't take any other person. Don't try to entertain two people at a time. Give all the attention to that person. Dedicate that time for that person. What they call it here in the West, they call it customer service. This is number 13. Present Islam, number 12. Present Islam in a very simple way. Don't make it complicated. Do not make it very complicated. Very simple thing. Now, the setting. How are you going to set this? This is the point number 5. Point number 5. I don't know if you guys have a Islam, what they call Discover Islam posters. If you can set them in a way that you start with La ilaha illallah, with the 5 pillars of Islam, and then you continue with the pillars of faith, it would be very easy for the sister or brother to bring that person and start from there. Start from there. Don't jump from this issue to that issue. Start with Tawheed and spend as much time as you can with the first pillar of Tawheed. As much as you can. And when you finish that, then you go with the second pillar, as-salah. And then you explain the purpose of the salah. You explain the purpose of the salah. The zakah, the siyam, the hajj. When you finish it, you go with arkan al-iman, with the 6 pillars of faith. Here, I would like to mention something. Among in the material, you should have something about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should have something about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because most of the people, they will come and say, "Well, I believe in God." Say, "Okay, what do you know? What do you think about Muhammad?" But I don't know much about Muhammad. So basically, when you at the Tawheed point, in the first pillar of Islam, talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and bit about the biography of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If you do this, if you have all the copies or all the Discover Islam, you will end up with family in Islam. That should be the last one. And then you talk about Islam and how Islam, the structure of a Muslim family and so on. But don't say, well, a man can have 4 wives, No, they're just basic, simple things. Very simple things. This is important, ya ikhwati fillah. If we can do this, a lot of things. At the end, ask the person, now, do you believe in Allah? Do you believe in one God? That is important, one God. 90% of the people who would come to Islamic awareness and listen to you through this process, they will say yes. They will say yes. Now, that person, is he a Muslim? Is he? Is he a 50% Muslim? He is a 50% Muslim. Islam is to believe in La ilaha illallah and Muhammad Rasulullah, the Shahada. Everything else will come later on. So if the person believes in La ilaha illallah, there's only one God. Based on how we understand Allah, not 3 in 1 and 5 in 1 and cows and goats, no. Only one unique God. If they believe in that, then at least he has the foundation of Islam. It is only up to you to explain who is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to him and make him understand and convince him. If he says, well, it's true. When you show him the miracles of Rasulullah in that little green book, and he said, well, can anybody do this? Can anybody at that time talk about the science of embryology, the science of mountains, of waters, and all this? And you explain that. And you read that book. I would encourage you to read that book. Most of the people, because all those people come, 90% say they have open mind. They are open-minded people. So they will say, yeah, it's true. They say, okay, this can only be through a messenger. Yes. So, well, what do you know about the messengers? What do you know about the messengers? And you tell them the purpose of the messenger, because this is one of the articles of faith. When he understands, he will understand that you ask him, do the messengers lie? None of them will tell you a messenger will lie. Now, remember, first you asked him, do you believe in the messengers? Yes. I mean, you believe this is can be only through a messenger? Yes. He said yes. Now, do the messengers lie? No. Then this man, since you agree he's a messenger of Allah, and the messengers don't lie, he's the one who said we should worship only one God. Very easy. Most of the people think for them to accept Islam, they have to do a major change. Their whole life has to change. But when you explain to them, just by saying, believing there's only one God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God, you are Muslim. Wallahi, 99.99%, when you tell them, they say, that's it? I don't have to do anything else? No, you don't have to do anything else. From here, we'll learn. And then explain to them that Islam is very easy to practice. And for you to learn all about Islam, or to learn complete Islam and then accept Islam, it is not possible. Because in Islam, you only learn the part that pertains to you. Now, if you want to open a businessman, if you want to open a business and be a businessman, you must learn about business in Islam. Am I right? But if I don't want to be a businessman, do I have to learn that chapter? I don't have to learn that chapter. Explain to him, you don't need to learn everything about Islam, but what you need to do is understand there's only one God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God, and then everything else will come, and you will take one step at a time. But don't say, oh, you cannot drink, you gotta leave your girlfriend, you gotta divorce your wife or your husband. Don't, no. Just tell them this is the basic things, you believe in that. You believe in that. When you believe in that, he becomes a Muslim. Now, but let me entertain any question if you have any questions. Yes?
The whole idea that this is all the development of science, especially psychology, what people consider to be prophets in the past, right now would be considered epileptics or schizophrenics. How would they go around? How would you should truly go around this?
But that's not everybody. That's not the belief of most of the people.
No, but
yeah, there are some people. What in this, before you get to that point, then we have to talk about God. If he understands and accepts God, I think at that point to explain to him what Allah is, what the prophets are, would be a lot easier. But if the person doesn't believe in God to begin with, there's no point going with the rest of the 5 pillars of Islam and the rest of the articles of faith. He fell with the first pillar, so you have to stay in that area. Don't talk about any other subject. Don't get involved in any other argument. Just let us talk about how can be a universe without a creator? How can he exist without a creator? Here, of course, if you say this is what Allah said, what does the messenger of Allah said, he does not believe any of that. So you use logic, inshallah.
You spoke about sticking mostly to the basics and not telling them what Islam allows you and does not allow you. If someone asks, what does Islam say about drinking and girlfriends and that kind of thing, should we go approach and say, yes or no, and then go back to the basics, or just
Very good. Same thing when I went to Victoria. One of the guys who accepted Islam, he asked a question. He came back and he said, I have a girlfriend. What do you want me to do with her? I told him, bring her, let us give her a shahada, and then inshallah, she will be your wife. But it was at that point, I said to him, okay, in Islam, and here is important, you can't lie or hide anything about Islam. He asks you the question, you have to answer based on Islam. You don't volunteer, but he asks you, so you have to answer. It's haram. However, marriage in Islam is very easy. If you want to be with this woman, it is very. Take her to the masjid, and she can be your wife in 5 minutes. And you tell her how simple marriage is in Islam, and then if they want to do reception or all this, that's later. But you have to answer the question. If someone tells you is drinking haram, you don't say, oh no, you can drink, inshallah. Don't worry. We'll talk about that later. No, you tell him it's haram to drink. However, Islam gives you an opportunity and chance for you to quit. But drinking is haram. You cannot drink. But if you're addicted to it or you have a problem, we'll treat that, inshallah.
We were thinking of having young kids come on the last day and do a prayer on starting. What do you think of that idea as well?
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, attracts a lot of people, little kids from Islamic school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Ramadan.
Yeah. Well, Islamic school, yeah. They're singing, doing nasheed and all this.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, yeah, it's nice. It's cute. I like it.
Let's say a man starts asking me questions about the women issues, which I'm not really familiar with. So can I just tell him, say, well, talk to the sister or something like that?
Yes, you can certainly do this. But if you don't know the issue, yes. But most people, especially when I used to go to the church, and by the way, just a side point, if church invites you to talk about Islam, you should know it's useless. It's pointless. Because number one, they bring people who already strongly rooted in Christianity. All they want to know is what you believe, so they can say, well, we can attack them or argue with them in that point. So it's not there for them. A church, imagine someone, Imam of the Masjid calling the priest and say, listen, I have simple Muslims, come and make them kuffar. Will anyone do this? Likewise, they won't do. But anyway, when the issue of women comes, I used to let some of the sisters come and speak about the issue of Muslim women. Because if I talk about it, they would think, he's a man. We need to hear women's point of view. So I asked the sisters, please come and speak to these people, inshallah. So yes, if you cannot answer or you think the person wants to argue, you say, well, how do you know that abortion is not okay? So, well, listen, I don't talk to the sister. Well, how do you know that it's not uncomfortable for the sisters? You're not wearing it. Go and talk to her and ask why she's wearing it.
Same would come for the guy. If I don't know the question, I just can tell this gentleman knows better.
Hopefully, during this sessions, there would be an imam or person at the all time. So you would have a person say, well, I cannot answer. Go and talk to this person, please. And this should be okay. Inshallah. Yes, Ahmed.
There's a popular question people just keep asking, about dating and girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. When you tell them you can't have a girlfriend, they assume automatically you're gay or this. So you know that you're not, but how are you supposed to present it to them in the right way?
That's what we said at the beginning and earlier. We said, don't get anything that you don't want to talk about. Don't get into anything that you want to talk about. Inshallah, you will see how the bus will set up the event. Just take that person. If you are present at the event, if you're elsewhere, then if they ask you, well, everybody has a system. The Chinese community have a system of getting married. The Jamaicans have a different way of getting married. So our system, our culture, our religions, we have procedures that we follow. Simple as that. They should appreciate. Some of the sisters the other days, sorry?
Then they either assume you're gay or the arranged marriage.
No,
that's the two assumptions they make.
But you can always disagree with them and say it's not must. The marriage has to be arranged. I'm not gay.
Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, you know it yourself because you believe in it. But how are you supposed to explain it to them? There's some people who are interested in the religion, but they're used to a certain way of life. And then they don't want to lose the good things about their own life.
Subhanallah, nothing but dating that is holding them. If they want to know about Islam, wallahi, you can explain Islam to them. And inshallah, but they will accept Islam. But avoid these things before they understand these things. Before they understand the basics of Islam, which is the Tawheed and the Shahada. And later if they ask you, say, listen, okay, this is my answer. If you want a better explanation, let us go to a masjid. Or someone's coming over to the university, and then Sheikh Rida or someone comes here. Let them explain. If he's a lady, mashallah, we have Sister Khadija. Sister, no, Sister Khadija? Yeah, we have Sister Khadija. She will explain to them, mashallah.
She'll be there the whole week too.
She should, mashallah. Yeah, it's good. It's good to have Sister Khadija.
I think with a lot of these questions, there's one underlying answer that can control, is that there's a reason for all these rules, right? And you could just explain that. Why is all these rules? Why do we live a life that is structured, right? And the reason is because, subhanAllah, this is a limited world. We can't do everything we desire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala limits on us, and we abide by it. If you didn't do that, it would be chaotic.
Okay, yes, absolutely. And I think if they understand the concept of God, if you be able to explain to them the concept of God, then they would accept as well. If you agree there's a God and there's a system that we should follow, well, this is the system of God according to Muslims. But you also have to understand, and I'm sorry, you have to explain this. When you're explaining Islam to a Christian, make sure that you make him understand that you as a Muslim believe in Jesus, alayhi salam. And if he becomes a Muslim, that does not mean he has his own Jesus or dislike Jesus. As a matter of fact, we respect Jesus more, we love him more than the Christians respect and love him. We don't elevate him to the level of God, but we do respect him, inshallah. Now, last two questions and then we can go, inshallah, for other things. Yes?
One of the questions that I've been asked frequently is Islam and terrorism, right? So, are we going to have kind of like a session to explain that, or no? Or is that something that we should stay away from?
We should stay away from it. We should stay away from it, because if you open that subject, it's just an argument. It's just a crazy argument, and I think at this point, most of the people in the West, most of them understand, what happened September 11, it was not the work of Muslims.
So what would be kind of like a response that we should give back if someone did approach us for that question?
Well, in this case, actually, you can always refer them to websites that is being done and designed and works being done by non-Muslim Americans, like whatreallyhappened.com. The other side, they would explain to them in a way that maybe if they hear from you, they will not accept it. Like this is what I did with my father-in-law. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law, especially my mother, they think that a Muslim were terrorists and all this, and when they hear from a non-Muslim explaining the situation, and that a plane in the Pentagon, this is not a work of a plane, they start accepting this, but they did not accept it from me, nor from their daughter, but they accept it from someone who is Catholic. So you can always refer that to the websites that they made, and these people talked about it way before it happened. Inshallah. طيب, جزاكم الله خير. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. We go for salah, inshallah.